Okay, so before we begin, I don't know much about Sinclair or Spectrum. I know about the bald guy, and there's a movie that I need to watch. Sir Clive Sinclair, is that right? I don't know. So this is the Sinclair Spectrum Next episode. So I know about Pat, the NES Punk, Pat Contrary, and the Spectrum Next debacle. Tommy Tallarico comes up when the Bard's Tale ARPG, I've forgotten the word, re-scrambled, whatever, version loads. It's so funny. But so I got a deep dive back into the Tommy Tallarico garbage. But for now, so I can't get a ZX80, ZX81, a Spectrum emulator running. But I found a workaround. I've got this YouTube tutorial that took me to a web page where you run a program, it loads a program adventure on. And so we're now going to follow through the tutorial.
Before and after the key is discovered.
And type it in as we go.
Most of us that grew up with 8-bit computers have played a text adventure at one time or another. Back then there were a few options when it came to creating your own. The Quill and the Graphic Adventure Creator, or GAC for example. Because these are so old now, they don't have the ease of use of modern software. Or game for other platforms, or illustrated text for developing for 8-bit. It's out of the scope of this video. Also noted which is pretty one-dimensional. Finally, the important bit. Here is why I've listed every room along with all the accompaniment. So each entry is based. When Adventuron first starts, you'll be greeted with the following screen. It starts with a preloaded adventure. The first thing to do is click on the menu and turn off the side documentation. Then click Start Coding, which clears the editor window. When you do this, it automatically downloads the current project as a safety in case you forgot to save it. Next, we hit Menu again and click on 8-bit compatible mode. This is important as it allows the editor to warn you when using commands that will not work when the game is exported to an 8-bit machine. So essentially you're working with a more limited command set than Adventuron naturally allows, but that's more than enough to create a great game. Now there are two keys that are the most important ones to learn in Adventuron, and they are Control and Space. Pushing these together brings up a command list and other context-specific items, and it is used all the time when coding. So if you make sure the empty editor window is active and then hit Control and Space, the editor auto-generates the basic sections to begin creating your game. You can click play button at any time to test your game. So there we have it. The preset room is pretty empty, but it's the first stepping stone. At any point you can resize these windows to give yourself a bit more room. Also, Adventuron does have an extensive user guide, so just click the button at the top to access it if you ever need to look up commands. And that's the basic setup. Now we're ready to begin. The first thing we need is a welcome message when the player starts the game. There is a specific code block for startup actions that is not currently there, so let's make it. Just click below the Adventuron header, hit Control Space, and scroll down to select the On Startup block. This creates an empty code block. All the code for each section must be inside the braces, so click in here, hit Control and Space, and find Print. Print is a command that basically does exactly that. It prints a message into the game window. You can scroll up and down on the menu with mouse wheel or cursors, but sometimes it's much easier to start typing the command and then select it with the mouse. So now we paste the introduction text into the code. You'll see because I had a return in the text, it's highlighted as an issue. But that's no problem, we just bring it back like this. Now, I want to do a new line, so we use one of the commands that you can put inside text strings, and that is \n and then n for new line. Now we go to the next line, Control Space again, and select press any key. This does exactly what it says, it waits for a key press. Now, I want to do a new line, so we use one of the commands that you can put inside text strings, and that is \n and then n for new line. Now we go to the next line, Control Space again, and select press any key. This does exactly what it says, it waits for a key press. Now if we click play now, you'll see the welcome text displayed as intended, and the game waits for a key press to begin. It then sends you to the starting location. It says it waits for a key press. Now if we click play now, you'll see the welcome text displayed as intended, and the game waits for a key press to begin. It then sends you to the starting location. One of the first tasks to do is to create all your locations, as these are the important initial layer to the whole game. So, I reference my map. Now the editor already has an initial location, so let's just go in and alter that. The first thing is the room name that the editor uses to identify the location, and for this one it's called Bridge. Next is the text used to describe that location, so let's fill that layer to the whole game. So, I reference my map. Now the editor already has an initial location, so let's just go in and alter that. The first thing is the room name that the editor uses to identify the location, and for this one it's called Bridge. Next is the text used to describe that location, so let's fill that in. Now you notice there's an error in the code right now, and this is because I edited the name of the starting location so that the code cannot find that anymore. So all we do is go up and delete my location and then hit Control Space, and it's clever enough to fill in Bridge. This is because it knows there's only one location. If there were several, it would pop up a list and you can choose from that. You can also manually type in the room name if you wish. Now to add the next location. Control Space again, type the name, fill in the text, and so on until all our locations are there.
From on Tory. Fortress exterior. Fortress interior.
have all our rooms set up, but we need to tell the editor how they are connected. For this, we reference the map again. For a moment, we'll just set up the main connections and ignore any barriers. We'll deal with those later. So in the editor, there is already a section marked connections. So we simply hit Control and space, bridge, east, cave entrance. And there we go, that's set up a very basic two-way connection to these locations. We've told it that going east from the bridge leads to the cave entrance, so there's no need to tell it that going west from the cave entrance will lead to the bridge. It already knows that. There might be times where you only want one-way directions, and for that you just choose the one-way option from the list. So let's go through and connect the rest of the rooms.
East Cave Tunnel. Cave entrance, south. Fortress exterior. Cave Tunnel East Promontory. Fortress exterior east. Fortress interior.
Now, if we run the game, we can move about freely.
Really? How? East. West. East. South. East. Exciting is hardly the word I would choose. You can't go that way. Oh, so just W works. Okay.
Objects are normally the vital pieces that allow you to solve puzzles in adventures. In Adventuron, objects can be items you pick up, or even scenery or people. But at the moment, we just need to look at our map and our list and create all the items the player can carry. So if we go down to the object section in the code and hit Control Space, then select Object from the list. Now we fill in the name of the object.
Lamp.
And the text description.
1.
And afterwards we will also hit Control Space and add the message section, which allows you to add descriptive text for when the item is examined by the player.
_1.
Then we also add at and select bridge. This places the object in full view at the specified location.
Message equals speech marks. Can't get much lazier than that.
Now we add all the other items.
Lamp 2. rat. Despite all rage. Despite all my rage.
You'll note that the lit lamp
Key.
and key do not have locations specified now, as they are not visible until conditions are met in the game. Also note that because the lamp has two states, lit and unlit, there are two separate objects, each with a number suffix. When the lamp is lit, we will switch one object for another, and this suffix allows the player to use the same noun for both objects.
For the first time ever, you can make your photos talk, sing, and dance with
When the lamp is lit, we will switch one object.
It's the same thing. I'm sure you can just paste. Paste it, key, a key. Key, gold. A gold. Gold. Alright. Gotta make it fun.
And this suffix allows the player to use the same noun for both objects.
What?
Fix. When the lamp is lit, we will switch one object for another, and this suffix allows the player to use the same noun for both objects. Fix.
Don't. So at Fortress Interior. Speech marks. At equals. Speech marks. Semi. At Fortress. Interior. Right. 56 is wrong. Lamp to object. Message equals. Oh dear. Lamp to object. It's a colon. Speech marks are lit lamp. Semi. No, there's no semicolon after lamp. Use a colon at the end of every line. A semi. Alright, that should do. 55. Lamp 1 colon object speech marks message equals lamp equals at bridge. Oops. And then the colon semi lamp no semi at right. Oh God, lamp 1 object message, there's no semi, no, take that semi out. Shit. Lamp 1 object speech marks message equals speech marks at equals speech marks semi. I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, come back to it. Fine, bye.